What's up, you guys? It's your girl, JennBlueEyes here, and I am finally starting to feel somewhat normal. My head is still a little bit out there, but if you are any of my friends, you'll say, oh, that's normal, because your head is always out there. Woo! I am still recording in my room. Now you have a better view of it, I think. One second. Okay, there's my mom. Okay, so I am still recording in my room. I don't know if you can see it that well. It's a mess over there. This side looks nice, but anyway, I look terrible. I know. Oh my god, I seriously look awful. Okay, makeup break. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of eyeliner. Hey, how are you? How's it going? Hey. Just give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay, that'll do. Oh, wait. Okay, whatever, that'll do. At least I look somewhat human. Yeah. So today, since I'm feeling better, I thought I would read to you finally another dramatic reading of one of my short stories. And I will be reading from my Kindle. See? It's a Kindle. And I will be reading to you Love, War, and the Sea. Can you guys hear me? I have my fan on. Yeah, whatever. I'm still, like, roasting. Even though I don't have a fever, I'm still, like, sweating like crazy. But I need to keep that fan on, so if you guys can't hear me, that sucks for you. Oh, dear. Anyway, so, this is called Love, War, and the Sea, and as you can see, there's a mermaid. See, can you see that? You can see that. That's a mermaid. Okay. Peekaboo. Lay down. Lay down. I would get up and put him on my bed, but I'm not wearing pants. I know I'm not trying to take a page out of Markiplier's book and record videos when I'm not wearing pants. I just don't like wearing pants. I never go to sleep with pants on. I can't sleep. I can't do it. I seriously cannot sleep if I'm wearing pants. I will not be able to get comfortable until I realize I'm still wearing pants, so I gotta take off my pants. I can't go to sleep. And right now I just didn't feel like putting on pants. Anyway, so let's hope my mom doesn't interrupt me and I can just read. Okay. Love, War, and the Sea. I published this like a little over a year ago on July 1st, 2016. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Oh my god. And like I said before, this story received a lot of reaction from people. I had some of my friends read it because some of my other friends shared it, and they didn't even know I wrote it. And they were talking to me about it, and I was like, yeah, I wrote that. And they were freaking out. A lot of people. It's just really made people feel, and I love that. Yeah, so, okay, here we go. I love the feeling of diving back into the deep waters of the sea after being up at the shoreline for a few hours. However, I hated leaving him. I swam hastily back home before my guardians found out I was gone. My long black hair floated around me gracefully, and my beautiful golden tail moved in fast, rhythmic motions. Today, I wore my favorite gold and black silk tube top. I spun around in a circle, causing a whirlwind of waves behind me. I loved the water. I loved being a mermaid. My name is Nixie, which means a sea-dwelling spirit. When I was 4 years old, both my parents were killed by a sinking ship. I was taken in by 2 appointed members of the King's Council. They were a nice elderly couple, and they take excellent care of me. I swam around the enchanted coral reef and arrived at my guardian's home. It was a modest house made of beautifully decorated seashells and stone. When I went inside, I heard Mrs. Capper call from the kitchen, "Nixie, Nixie, is that you?" She spoke very nervously. Her voice was always shaky. I'm sure I didn't help any with my always making disappearing acts. "Yes, Mrs. Capper, I'm home. I'll be in my room." I started to plunge into the hole that led into the basement bedroom. "Wait!" Mrs. Capper swam over to me shyly. "Where were you today? Not by the shore, I hope." I sighed and rolled my eyes. Why does it matter if I was at the shore or not? I'm almost 18. You can't watch over me constantly anymore. Because it's a law enforced by the king. No one is to go anywhere near the shore. Nixie, if you get spotted there, you'll be arrested. I felt sorry for her. She sounded so worried and concerned for me. I felt terrible. "Promise me you will not go there anymore." I couldn't bear to see her hurt and stress over me, but I could not make that promise. Luckily, Mr. Capper came home just at that moment, and I heard him call from the living room, "Adela, I'm home." I took advantage of that moment and dove into my bedroom. I know it's the law. I know the risks, but I can't stay away from the shore. I can't stop seeing him. I found Bradley lying on the beach on his stomach with his face in the sand about a year ago. He wasn't moving. I thought he might have been dead, but he started to stir, and I heard a low, muffled moan escape him. I hid behind a rock on the shoreline with my tail still in the water. He sat up and turned my way, but he still didn't see me. My hair was the color of the sun. His hair was the color of the sun. His eyes the color of leaves on a tree. He stood up and staggered a bit. Around his one eye was swollen and purple, and his black button-down shirt was torn and smudged with wet sand. He looked around, and then his eyes locked with mine. I shrank back further behind the rock, but it was too late. He was already coming towards me. I tried to swim away, but at that moment he grabbed the end of my tail, preventing me from moving. "Ow!" I screamed, and he let go of me quickly. "I'm so sorry." He held up his hands in the air in surrender. His eyes grew wide, and he looked genuinely sorry and shocked. I started to swim away, but he called out to me to stop. I turned around, and he smiled. "What's your name?" I stayed a good 5 feet distance from the shore and him, but answered, "Nixie. And yours?" "Wow," he whispered. His smile grew wider. "That is such a beautiful name. My name is Bradley Johnson. I'm sorry if I scared you or hurt you." "Nixie, it's just that I've never seen a mermaid before. I've heard of them, sure. Some people say we are even at war with them, but I don't know why we would be fighting such a beautiful creature." He winked at me, which made my heart flutter. I swam a couple feet closer. My guardians tell me it's because some humans are intimidated by us because we are too independent and they can't control us. It's probably true. I know people who would think that. Your guardians sound like wise people. He never once stopped smiling when he spoke. They are. I nodded my head meekly in respect for my elders. I looked up and saw his injured eye up close for the first time. Without realizing it, I reached my hand towards it. "Does it hurt?" I lightly touched my fingers to the darkened part around his eye, and he flinched. What happened? Well, I'm ashamed to say, but I got a little drunk last night and I was being a jerk, and a few guys put me back in my place. A few times. He assured me he was fine, so we talked until the sun went down. We spoke mostly about the war that was tempting to be brought on by the humans against the people of the sea. Bradley said he was sure they were never actually going to go to war, and it was all talk. That was the first time we met. Since then, we have met every week and talked about nothing and everything at the same time. Today, when I saw him, he kissed me for the first time. His lips moved softly against mine, and his hands gently caressed my neck. It was a beautiful, awkward, new, and heart-wrenching experience. I loved it. Yet now Mrs. Capper wanted to make me promise I'd stop going. I never told my guardians about Bradley. I wasn't sure what they would do if they found out I was spending my time with a human. A week later, I again went to the forbidden shore to see my forbidden love. He was sitting in there on the big rock, which I named Paradise, waiting for me. He greeted me with a quick kiss on the lips and a smile. I could see a dark secret behind his eyes, which made my heart feel cold like a stone. He must have sensed the change in our atmosphere because he hung his head low and started pacing back and forth. I've been drafted, he whispered without lifting his head. I have to go to war, Nixie. Against you. My voice caught in my throat, and I could feel tears start to burn in my eyes. I shook my head and tried to erase what he was trying to tell me. No, I whispered, and hoped he would tell me it wasn't true. I'm so sorry. He knelt down in the wet sand in front of me, and tiny waves rolled under us. I'm trying to figure out ways I don't have to go. I could run away, but then I'll never see you again. And if they find you, they'll kill you. Tell me what to do. I can't do it. I won't go to war. I'm not going to fight your people. Tell me what to do, Nixie. He started to cry and pound the ground with his fists, causing water to splash up in his face. You have to, I whispered, and quickly wiped away the tears that threatened to roll down my cheeks. I guess we were never meant to be. He looked into my eyes and glared at me. What? Face it, Bradley. How would we have ever worked out anyway? I can't be on dry land for long before I start drying out, and you can barely even swim. I laughed bitterly. There was no hope for us. So it really doesn't matter if you go to war against us. Stop it! Bradley. He grabbed me by the shoulders and pulled me up a little higher to his eye level. I said, Stop it, Nixie. Just shut up. He shouted in my face in pure anger, but I could see love and hurt in his eyes. His grip was so tight on my shoulders, but I couldn't bring myself to tell him he was hurting me. This is for the best, I squeaked. No, we'll figure this out. He lowered me down, but still held on to me just as tightly. I have to go. I pulled hard, and he fell face down into the water, which caused him to release me. Then I quickly plunged into the waves. Once I got about 50 feet deeper into the sea, 2 mermen started advancing towards me. I was tempted to swim away, but then I saw that they were 2 of the king's guards. They were appointed with magic to use if force was needed. I didn't have a chance. Ma'am, you're under arrest. Please come with us peacefully. It'll make things a lot easier. The guard closest to me said. I gulped and tried to hide my nervousness and let the 2 guards lead me away. My heart stopped when the kingdom's prison came into view. I thought again about trying to escape, but before I could make up my mind, I was behind thick, rusted steel bars. I don't know how long I was in there before I saw anyone again. Days, weeks. Since no one was coming to visit me, I just slept the entire time. Finally, I was awoken by a guard telling me I had a visitor. Mrs. Capper! She came in and reached her arms through the bars and held my hands tightly. I'm so sorry, I started to cry when I saw the pain and disappointment in her eyes. I should have listened to you. No, dear, I'm sorry. I'm the one who turned you in, she said without her usual nervous tone. I let go of her hands abruptly. You? I trusted you. All of my life, and you betrayed me like this? Why? I felt sick to my stomach and had to swallow a gag in my throat. Keep your voice down, she whispered through gritted teeth. I'm going to get you out of here, Nixie. She pulled a key out of her bikini top and unlocked the cell door. We have to hurry. She grabbed my arm and swam out of the prison without any sign of the guards. She took me back home and then explained to me that it had been a week since I had been arrested and the war between the humans and the sea people had begun. Loaded submarines began emerging 2 days ago and are now 30 feet deep. Once they get 75 feet deeper, they will completely reach our kingdom and begin attacking. I was trying to process all the information she was feeding me. However, the only thought returning through my mind was Bradley. I had to see him. I quickly swam away and started for shore. I passed hundreds of submarines and luckily avoided them all. When I finally got to shore, I gasped at what I saw. There were men dressed in camouflage with huge guns and ships skimming the horizons. The submarines are being lowered off of docks into the water. I was horrified. I hid behind Paradise and glanced around. I didn't see Bradley anywhere. What if he was already in one of those submarines getting ready to fight? I pushed him away, so why wouldn't he? Just then, I saw him running onto the beach. He was frantic. He started punching soldiers in the head, tackling anyone who got in his way. Bradley! I called out without trying to. He turned to look at me, and then he started charging towards me. Soldiers were trying to drag him down to the ground, but he just shook them off. He was smiling as he came closer, but then he came to a halt just as he reached me. Bradley, I whispered. He dropped to his knees and then fell on his face. A man stood behind him with a gun aimed. I looked down and saw a hole in the back of the only man I ever got the chance to love. I looked at the soldier who killed my love and turned my eyes dark and cold on him. He lowered his aim and stared at his feet. I grabbed Bradley by his shoulders and pulled him closer to me. Bradley, I'm sorry, I whispered through sobs. I kissed his face all over. Please don't leave me. His eyes stared up at mine. They were empty and glassy. I tried to close them, but I couldn't do it. My hands were too shaky. Before I knew it, I started screaming. Soldiers were dropping to the ground, covering their ears. A sea person has a scream that is very loud and can be heard from over 20 miles away. It was used to ward off predators, but today I screamed for myself and for Bradley. I screamed because of the pain I felt from a broken heart. I screamed for so long, soldiers started retreating, and people stopped getting submarines ready. I wasn't sure what was happening underwater. I continued to scream as I dragged Bradley's body under the water with me. I took him down deeper and deeper, past the halted submarines, past the kingdom. I took him to the darkest and very bottom of the sea. I stopped screaming and just held him close. I kissed his lifeless lips and cried, "This is where I belong, with my love." I stayed there, holding my dead lover, for the rest of my lifetime. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, like I said, that was probably one of my favorite stories to write. It had a lot of emotion to it, I think, and it was just really fun to write. The ones with the most emotion, and honestly, most of those are the saddest ones, are the most fun to write. It's just, and the most fun to react to, I think. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll be posting another video today. I'm planning on working some more tonight. All I've been doing, really, is sleeping and working when I build up enough energy. So, yeah. So I'll be working later tonight. I'll see if I can post something else later, but I doubt it. I'm pretty tired as it is right now. I'll post something tomorrow, though. I typically go to church in the morning, but honestly, I don't know if I should. I mean, I am feeling better, but not quite better, and I don't know if I should just take a risk. So I'm probably just gonna sleep in tomorrow instead of waking up at like 7. So I'll post something tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video and listening. If you guys want to read that story again, it is at cozycornerstories.weebly.com. It's called Love War in the Sea. I should probably write something for my blog. I haven't really written anything or started writing anything. My last story that you can't, it is published. I think I published it a couple weeks ago. It's called Revelation. I think you guys will really enjoy that. So be sure to check that out. Again, cozycornerstories.weebly.com. I'll put a link in the description below to this story, Love War in the Sea. Oh, my eyebrow, what the frick? Ugh. Whatever. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you all have a wonderful and spectacular day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye!